Hey guys, welcome back to some more Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars. We are here outside the Museum Kroon, as it's called, and last episode we just finished with the hospital. We did the whole entire section of that piece of story. Pretty cool, pretty scary as well. As we know, Jack Marquet was then killed by a bogus doctor, fake doctor, who escaped out the window. Even though we were playing ourselves off as a fake doctor as well. And it's quite funny because I was thinking, like they said, oh, there's no Dr. Braille working here. And it's like, yeah, there's no George Stobart working here either. But how did you not figure that one out? But anyway, we'll let that one go. We'll let that one slide. Yeah, so before Jacques Marquet died, we did get some information from him. We had to ask him about the gem or what we should do with it. And we got some info about Syria and a guy named Klausner. So maybe those two will connect somehow, and we'll just have to see, I guess. But for today, we're going to go into the Museum Kroon because we got some sneaking stuff to do. That's all I'll say. But let's go on in. I think this is like the third time we're coming back here, isn't it? Because we came here the first time Andre wasn't here.
You have left it very late, monsieur.
Oh.
Late for what?
Anything. I am closing the museum soon. You wouldn't like to get locked in. I can tell you. Not in this gallery.
Why not?
It is haunted, monsieur.
You don't believe in ghosts, surely.
Oh, yes, I do. 7 years ago, a lad managed to hide in here.
Oh.
Made a bet with his friends, I suppose. When I found him in the morning, he was cold as ice and stiff as a board.
Well, what was the cause of death?
They said it was a brain tumor.
Oh.
But on his face was a look of stark, desperate terror such as I have never seen before.
Scary.
Yeah, and I can imagine it probably is cold in these museums at night time. But speaking of staying overnight, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So that's what I meant by some sneaking. So, yeah, the guys just said
Forget it.
they're going to be locking up soon. So we need to do... Well, first of all, let's see if we can talk to Andre, if there's anything that we can tell him or ask him about. Because I can't remember.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
Oh, there is. Okay. Well, we'll talk to Andre about this stuff first then, and then we'll get to the sneaking part.
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes, it was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language, Assassini, the assassins.
Ooh.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legends surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
Well, what do you say to that? Do you join or do you not join?
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
They sound like pretty dangerous people to me.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place,
I heard them planning the raid.
This is true.
they're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Yep. Well, yeah. George has got a point.
Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
Because I'd never see it again.
Well, don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point.
Yeah. I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, okay. I get your point. Okay, well,
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
that's for that. Right, so let's get to sneaking so that we purposefully, of course, get locked in here. So what we have to do is we have to open this window here, and we have to make sure that this guy's not looking first. So if you'd like to walk over this way, please. There we go.
The rod turned smoothly, and the window above me opened.
Alright, now he's going to go and close it, so we need to get over to this sarcophagus as quick as we can. And we should be able to hide inside. There we go. Job done. Now we wait.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, Monsieur.
And just like that, they are out. Hours pass. Oh, it's dark. Very eerie. Uh-oh. Oh, look who it is. So yeah, George was right. It is Flap and Guido. But of course we knew that because Jack Marquet said they would be doing this. He hired them.
Hey, Guido! Look at this!
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight.
Okay, so this is another point where we can die. So what we want to do is hide behind here.
What the? Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
Yeah, now George is going to push this over. Oh. And he faints. And what? Catwoman? What's going on here? God damn. And just like that, back in Nico's apartment.
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor George.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
What?
It was you who stole the tripod?
Damn right.
Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. And how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod. Aren't you going to try putting the gem on the tripod?
I guess so.
This is a good point.
Nothing happened.
Yeah.
The gem fits perfectly, but what does that prove?
It still makes me laugh.
Maybe the tripod has to be in a certain location.
There's nothing on the manuscript to indicate where, though, is there?
This is true.
Oh, by the way, I had a visit from Andre Lobineau.
Oh, yeah. I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again. He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
Oh.
I sure hope so.
Oh, that's cool though. That's was handy. Handy for us. And yeah, no, it just makes me laugh. George putting that in his pocket. Like, Jesus Christ, how deep are them pockets, boyo? Like, look, it's only a little jacket. It just makes me laugh.
Labino explained who the Hashashin were.
He did.
Yeah?
The cult of the assassins.
Oh, boy.
What do you think the purpose of this tripod is?
On the manuscript, the gem is shown mounted on top of it.
So, we risked a criminal charge to steal a display stand?
Don't ask me. Maybe it's intended to hold the gem in a specific position.
I would have thought so. Someone have a look at the manuscript.
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
Because sometimes we pick up new stuff.
That's the tripod we borrowed from the museum.
We borrowed, yeah.
That's the gem that Pegram found in Lochmarn. There's a woman looking at her reflection in a mirror, but the reflection has 3 hideous faces.
Okay, so that one I think we still don't know about.
The Night Scroll bears a phrase in Latin. Through my teachings, you will be enlightened.
I believe we don't know about this one yet.
There's a guy working on a loom.
Or the loom, and I don't think we know about the bull yet.
There's a guy with a sword and a bull.
Yeah.
Between them is a gem supported by a tripod.
Well, so we know about the gem and the tripod, because we've got those, of course, but there's another significance, I believe, with the bull. So that's that for now. So, I believe now we are going to be going back to Montfaucon again. This is the part where we're actually supposed to be there. The first time that we're supposed to actually be there, because like I said, we go there twice. So yeah, let's crack on. Let's go there now.
I have to go.
Already? You only just arrived.
Time and tide wait for no man.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Bye, Nico. We got stuff to look for. I'm sure we'll be back in the apartment, because we always end up coming back here anyway. But yes, off to Montfaucon. Because I believe an event should be taking place there at the moment. Yeah, Montfaucon. So yeah, like the costume shop, we can't go back to the hospital. There's no reason to. And we can't go back to the Hotel Ubu because there's no reason to. Let's go back to the Café de la Chandelle Verte just for a second. That guy's still not back either. Didn't dig his hole for long. But I believe now if we go back to the cafe, I think it's all been boarded up. Because obviously Rosso and Moo are not there anymore. So, yeah, there you go. It's completely boarded up now. We can't even go in there. But that's a cool little detail. I like that. It's all been cleaned up. It's all boarded over. And I believe that's it. Yeah. So, nice little detail to show off, I guess. Nothing too special, but it's where we started the game. Right. So let's go over to Montfaucon then, and speak to the drunk policeman again, because he will be there. Montfaucon. Yep, here we go. I did say an event would be taking place, and it certainly is. So let's talk to him again first.
Hello again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
Oh, okay, we've got nothing to talk to him about. Well, I don't know. We've got stuff since, haven't we?
What do you think of this?
A blood pressure sleeve.
Oh, he actually knows what it
Don't you
is.
want to know why I'm carrying it?
No, that would be dangerously similar to making inquiries. I might get a reputation for taking my job seriously.
I'm not going to show him the tripod. That's probably not a good idea. Alright, so we'll leave him for now.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
So we can't talk to the family. It says we can, but we can't. Yeah, George's
I
like,
had no desire to talk to the crowd.
yeah. Well, we can talk to the clown. Another clown.
Hey, you with the balls.
Oui?
Got some questions for you, bud.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Le Templier? Ah, the last Grand Master, Jacques Dumoulin, was burnt on an island in the Seine in 1314.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No, I am a jongleur.
A
Jongler?
What's that?
Mon Dieu.
Huh?
A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contre-gravitique aeroballetique mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crowned heads of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders, plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so. That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
If you
Give it a
say so,
try.
George.
Be my guest.
I had no idea what I was doing.
I didn't think you did.
But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be?
Find out.
A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult. Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Well, the crowd seemed to like it, so can't complain
Not
about
so
that.
easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not.
Alright, well,
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
let's go talk to the gendarme.
Hello again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
What do you think of the juggler?
Ah, he is
Or the jongleur.
excellent, most watchable.
But he's blocking the thoroughfare and obstructing traffic.
So, he is amusing. The traffic isn't. If he wants to block it, who am I to say no?
You're a cop.
Ah, oui. So I am. Ah, well.
So you're not gonna do anything about this guy.
No.
He probably doesn't even have a license.
Ah, a license. This I had not considered.
So what are you gonna do?
The instant I return to the station, I shall check.
Return to the station? Why not just ask him?
And spoil his concentration? What kind of a barbarian do you take me for?
This is like the worst officer ever, but he's freaking hilarious.
Ah, you are a clown.
Do I look like a clown?
No, although you juggle like one. Now, if I'd known you were a clown, it would have been amusing. And not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Who ever heard of a plainclothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy.
Mm.
But if I juggle badly without it,
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur, you have it.
He makes a good point. Let's go try that, shall we?
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
Hey, Mr. Clown. Not a killer clown, though.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
Okay, before we do ask about this, let's ask about some of this stuff.
Have you seen this man before?
No.
Okay.
Feast your eyes on this.
Incroyable. Is it real?
I think so.
Some people believe that great gems always have curses upon them.
Oh, that's garbage. Although, now that I think about it, both of the people who had this before me disappeared in mysterious circumstances.
This is true.
And the guy who was supposed to get this was shot and then murdered in his hospital bed. Do you want it?
No, thank you.
I'll hold on to it then.
Does this lab pass mean anything to you?
You work in a lab.
No, try again.
You steal lab passes?
No. Well, not as a habit. This was a special case.
Where did... Oh, yeah, it was the Hotel Ubu. I actually forgot then where we even got this from. Yeah, it was the Hotel Ubu.
This gadget is a sewer key.
I do not want it. Thank you.
Well, I'm not selling it. I just wanted your opinion.
It is hardly my area of expertise.
This is true. You are a clown.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
You smoke.
No, I don't.
In that case, it means nothing to me.
I assume you smoke then.
Does this plaster interest you?
Well,
Forget it. Forget that I asked. What do you think of this?
it is a medical device, oui?
Oui. Yes.
Turning French now, George.
It didn't seem right to fry somebody's palm when they make their living with their hands.
Ah, yeah. Should have thought about that one, really.
Does this grease paint mean anything to you?
It looks like one of mine, or at least another jongleur.
Or a clown?
Mais naturellement, a clown.
Hardly a breakthrough.
All right.
I've got a medieval tripod.
And my Uncle Claude has hemorrhoids. So what?
Nice. All right. Well, okay, let's...
Look, a red nose.
Oh, you say, whoop-de-doo.
All right, let's do this again.
I'd like to have another try at juggling, please.
You have gone on a crash course, perhaps?
No, I just had an insight into presentation.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on completing your humiliation, monsieur.
Okay, now for my secret weapon.
The nose. Wow, they loved it.
Juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury. Hey! You forgot one of your balls! Hey! But he didn't hear.
Oh, so now we got one.
Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change.
Oh, he's going, is he? He is. He's off. Okay, so with that, we got rid of the gendarme and we've got rid of the juggler, or jongleur, if you want to call him that. We can't get rid of the family, but that doesn't matter. They're just going to watch us do what we've got to do without saying anything, of course. We're not going to be going into the church again this time. We could, but there's nothing in there right now for us. But we're going to go sewer hunting again. We haven't done this for a while, but it's going to be worth it, trust me. But yeah, we needed to get the gendarme and the juggler out of the way before we could even think about doing this. So let's go down. Ooh. Oh, what's this?
Okay, it's long jump time.
What?
Here goes. Do I look crazy or something?
Didn't think you was going to do that, George, to be quite honest. Let's see what you can say about this.
The recent showers had made the levels rise a little, but at least the place didn't smell so much.
Okay. Let's have a look at this.
There were 3 arches, each with an inscription.
Okay, let's go and have a look. The more info we can look at, the better.
The wall had flaked, and anything once written on it had long since gone.
Oh. What about this?
The inscription was hard to read, but I made out Templier and something about innocence.
Okay, what about this one? Templier.
Close up, I could see a faded inscription. My medieval French isn't much, but the few words I understood seemed to say, "This is where the gallows used to stand." Maybe.
Oh, of course. Well, they did, didn't they? We already know that. So, yeah, we can interact with the boat, of course. Let's see what he says first.
A weird little boat lay tied up. I guess they used it to get maintenance crews around. Either that or the Phantom of the Opera was somewhere near.
Now, I believe this one is hollow.
Hey, that's hollow! It was time for some brutal destruction.
Oh, yes. See what's in here then.
Close up, I could see the plaster was thinner where I'd broken through, and behind it were some cogs and a lever.
Oh, secret door.
Here goes. Hey, cool!
Okay, so it hasn't quite come open yet.
Inside the hole, I could see one of the cogs had come loose and jammed the mechanism solid.
Alright, so here's what we're going to do. I think you guys can already guess what we're going to do. I mean, it's funny, like, obviously I know what I'm doing now, but of course, some of these puzzles, if you can call them that, took me a long time to figure out. Like, you'd be in this little tiny area here thinking, what the hell have I got to do? Like, you'd unwind this, and obviously George picks it up, and then you're like, well, where am I going to hang that onto? Like, before you'd even done, like, knocking out the wall and stuff, you're like, where does this go? You'd be here for ages. But it would be satisfying once you figured it out. Alright, so let's wheel that back. Yeah. Alright. We can go in. Let's do it. Let us go in. Ooh. Now, something really, really important. Oh, let's look at this first.
The door mechanism was trashed. It would take a blacksmith or an engineer to do anything with that.
Okay, so before we do anything, if you've never played this before, of course, what I would suggest is do not go down here yet. Anyway, what you want to do is look through this gap in the rock. Now we're going to have a bit of a long talking session here, guys, so I'm going to let you enjoy it.
In the beginning was the end.
An end wrought by our enemies began our darkness.
In the end will be a beginning.
An end to our enemies heralds our new day.
Report. The military establishments are in flux. The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. We have successfully promoted a sense of betrayal in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Good. Mademoiselle?
Governments are giving the corporations more respect than their own citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them. A blind belief in market forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
The global population's belief in those that govern it has never been lower. We have inculcated a sense of immediacy and action over forethought and planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Excellent. The tired old governments are dying a slow death from their own incompetence and our machinations. The millennium is almost upon us, and everything is in place for the rise of our new order. Almost. Professor, where is the broken sword?
As we discussed last time, with the loss of the manuscript, our search is as a corollary hindered.
And as discussed last time, you have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say, our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
must have left a trail when they were hiding the clues to the sword of Baphomet's location. I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Pegram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lochmarn gem when the Hashashin came near.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I have to remind you that we have a sacred duty? A trust? When Philippe attempted to destroy the Order, we lost the sword and our power with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results, not petty bickering, not excuses. Now, Professor Baphomet.
Yes, of course, my apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present.
Ha!
But I have my best people working on it. You would do well not to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
Marquet was a liability. Eklund dealt with him on my orders.
I beg your pardon, Grandmaster. I did not mean to.
Have you any good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
I fear so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
Wow. So there you go. There's a lot of information there. Yeah. So the bald guy with the moustache was the bogus doctor that we saw in the hospital. The guy who was just talking next to him was actually the guy we saw in the Hotel Ubu, if you remember back. He was sat there with a newspaper. He was there observing and watching what Khan was doing. That's all he was hired to do. And obviously the guy on the right side was the Grand Master, who Jack Marquet said that we should give the gem to. Obviously, we're not going to do that. That's a bit silly. But goddamn, yeah. So, again, it sounds like Klausner's gone to Syria. And apparently he's vanished. He went there looking for the lens. He hasn't come back. So, who knows? Maybe we'll go to Syria. But That's not it. So again, if you're playing this for the first time, do not go down here because you'll get shot. What we need to do is we need to listen in once more. So enjoy, guys. I'll be back in a sec.
This will be our last meeting in person until we locate the sword of Baphomet. I hope that I don't need to emphasize the importance of finding it. Without it, our endeavors come to nothing. With the sword reforged, we will have the power to sweep the stage of all opposition. The new millennium will belong to us. The next time that we meet, it will be to become the princes of this world!
Okay, so they've officially left. So now we can go down here. So I didn't say too much on the second time. I thought they said more than that, but obviously I'm misremembering. But there we go. So yeah, a lot of information to unpack. Let's see what happens when we go down here. George just tippy-toeing down the stairs. But damn, you guys got another long video out of me. I didn't realise it was going to be this long, but it's cool. I'm happy with this. All right, let's see what George says about this.
On the circle's circumference were the Templar seal and 2 Latin phrases. Non omnis moriar and clarior e tenebris. I shall not die completely, the brighter from the darkness.
Interesting.
No way was I going out there without a boat.
Yeah, good point. Don't go in that.
The water seemed to belong to an underground river or something. It was way too deep to belong to the catacombs.
Okay.
In the middle of the circle was a stump of stone, a shaft of daylight from the world above lancing down to touch it.
Let's have a look.
I noticed 3 small notches around the edge of the stump's top.
Ah. Well, I can only assume what that is. Yep. That music kicking in. Let's stick that gem on top. There we go. Wow.
The light falling from above struck the gem and scattered in 5 neat rays, and each ray picked out a letter. Starting from the seal, I could read M-A-R-I-B. Marib. Now all I had to do was figure out what the heck that meant.
Back in Nico's apartment, of course.
Nico, I've seen them.
Who?
The Templars. I spied on their meeting in the catacombs.
And you saw the Knights Templar?
I saw a bunch of guys masquerading as Templars.
Oh, George is sitting on the sofa this time. Or slouching on the sofa.
They're after something called the Sword of Baphomet. The bogus doctor was there, the guy who killed Marquet. The manuscript is the key, just as we thought. It shows the way to the broken sword, whatever that is.
And how does the assassin fit into all this?
He's out to stop them. These Neo-Templars, they're men and women in influential positions. Don't you see? Plantar was one of them. The assassin killed him for the manuscript, to stop them finding the sword.
But now we have got the manuscript.
Yes.
So, how do they hope to find the sword?
I don't know. They said something about a lens and a guy called Klausner who's gone to Syria. But they didn't seem to realize the significance of the very site of their meeting. You see, after they'd gone, I discovered a stone pedestal and a carved inscription. I set up the gem on the tripod, directly below a beam of light. The gem split the beam and lit the letters M-A-R-I-B.
That slouch.
Marib is a village in Syria.
Ah.
Then the Neo-Templars are ahead of us. Klausner beat me to it.
You're not thinking of going there yourself, are you?
Why not?
These guys are crazy and dangerous. That reminds me, you should leave the gem here.
Okay. What about the tripod?
I'll send it back to Andre, anonymously.
Okay, cool. So we're done with the tripod and the gem. Well, there you go. It just sums up what we are going to be doing next. So I think we're going to be going to Syria, guys.
Do you think I should go to Marib?
Syria is a long way, Georges.
You know he's going to go anyway. So yes, second location, guys. We are off travelling again. First it was Ireland. Now we're off to Syria. But, of course, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to end this video here because we are 40 minutes in. This is a nice, good chunk for you guys, I think. So look forward. Syria will be its own episode. Well, not all of it, because Syria... We're going to be in Syria for maybe 2 videos, I think. It's fairly long. Not as long as Ireland, but I'm looking forward to going into Syria. It's been a while. And, oh boy, again, some interesting characters in Syria. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like, please drop a like on this video. I really appreciate it. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and look after each other. And as always, see you guys in the next Broken Sword video. Take care, guys. See ya.